So having that OPC that
I'm
I can log
Batman.
into.
I'm Batman, and Sam is Robin. It's waiting.
It's such a long drive. It's such a long drive. Just go smack you in the back of the head.
Dibs on Batman.
I am Nightwing.
Oh, God. Here we go. Don't get me into my lack of DC knowledge.
my complete not understanding.
I don't know who these characters are.
Fine. I'm Captain America. He's Bucky.
Why'd you have to go there? It's just utter disappointment. Episode 10? Are we 9? Are we 9 or 10?
Now this is 10.
Sweet.
It's a little bit of a disappointment.
Right, but we're moving.
No, I mean, it's a disappointment that we had plans for this and we can't make them happen.
Right. Only in the fact that we wanted to try and get one of the people from SBS on. Which will happen eventually. We stick with it. Keep growing.
We need to figure out who we want to talk to and what we want to talk about. That's the only way to get on the list.
I mean, personally, it's Snipe Hunters who I really want to talk to. Snipe Hunter just is my favorite developer.
Really?
He really is. I love when he talks and his whole mindset and his answers. Like, sometimes you can almost tell he wants to say, "Why are you being a fucking idiot?" You can just, I mean, it's not, and I might be projecting that on him, but he keeps that smile on, that jovial smile. But inside.
I'm glad you get that from him because I don't.
Gotcha. I could be projecting it completely.
I feel like God, how do I say this without just insulting everybody? Probably best not to say it at all, huh?
No, insulting everybody's funner. Funner.
No, he to me he seems like he has been explaining this stuff for so long that he just stopped being surprised by the amount of idiocy that comes his direction.
The dumb questions. Wonder what he'll think of our questions.
Like just that resignation that comes with what he's put himself in. I bring this on myself. I keep doing the same things over and over again, and everybody still doesn't get it.
Well, first of all, let me start with this question. Who would you want to talk to if you could pick an SBS?
I am not familiar enough with what everybody does. You know what I mean?
No, dude, I'm with you on that as far as their actual roles and responsibilities. I kind of have a grasp, loosely from just reading Discord and when they talk about it. But It's like in one ear, out the other. And part of it's because they divide it all up into those adventuring teams.
Yep.
Those quests, the quest for whatever. And it's like, oh, who's on that one? Oh, yeah.
Well, that is to me, on the outside looking in, that looks very cool.
No, I love
something that is so. That's a team building exercise.
The flavor of it, the esprit de corps. Yes.
Yeah.
I belong on this. We're about to finish our quest over here. This adventuring company. No, dude, I get that, but it is hard for me to follow from the outside. I don't get to look at the flow charts and.
I imagine their XP is paid in pizza.
Yeah, bonuses. Plus one soda. I was just because here's what I do is I sit and read Discord and I assign, and of course the Q&As and the live streams help a lot, and all the YouTube videos we've seen over time. Like Caspian's probably had the most face time if you add it all up between the bicycle walrus stuff, the Q&As, he is the face of SBS,
no doubt.
And I just assign whole in my head, whole personalities to them that has nothing to do with what's on screen. So, like, Caspian is this lone dreamer trying to bring his, what do you call it? Dream, for lack of a better, lone dreamer trying to bring his dream.
Trying to bring his dream of dreams.
Dream of dreaming.
Dreams.
But against all the odds, man, and does he have the willpower to make it happen? And I can see him wear down at times and fired up at times and all that stuff, and identify with that on so many levels.
Yes.
Then Snipe Hunter, I don't know why Snipe Hunter is my favorite, honestly. But he is.
Well, he spends a lot of time talking to people like us.
I think that might be why. And also, it seems like he's one of us. Like, I feel like all of them are. All of them are. But, like, I seriously could see myself, like, just letting Snipe Hunter run a a live gaming session and just being completely at peace with it. Like chill and just relaxing and feeling like I was with my bros. Where like if Caspian ran it, I'd be like,
If Caspian ran your game, he'd sit down behind the DM screen and he'd go, "Have you guys heard of Chronicles of Elyria?"
I am going to start doing that in my League of Legends matches. At the beginning of every League of Legends match, I'm going to start saying, "You guys ever heard of Chronicles of Elyria?" And then anytime someone says yes, I'm going to post it and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to post it in Discord. Another one.
This person's heard about it.
This person's heard about it.
The first time you do it, somebody's going to be like, "Yeah, I've heard of it. I heard it already sucks." I played the beta and it sucks.
Yeah, no doubt. Is that Minecraft game?
Right.
But no, excitement, man. Actually getting some... first of all, did we actually get an intro in here? Did we say episode 10? I know we did, but did we...
We said episode 10, and then we talked about our disappointment with episode 10, and then we started talking about who we would have on the show, and I still don't know who I'd have on the show.
I want to have Snipe Hunter, and I want to talk about the Great Disconnect.
I enjoy talking to Serpentius in Discord.
Yeah, you have a good relationship with... I mean, I say, you have that text-based relationship through email and Discord.
Right. But I think a lot of that has to do with... Serpentius deals with all of us, because he's like the PR guy, right?
Right. No, yeah, he's definitely the public relations.
And I see him all the time struggling in Discord because people will be talking about stuff and asking questions. He'll be like, "I don't have the answer to that. You're going to have to wait for somebody else to show up," or something.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait for someone who's building that system to talk to him. No, he does do that a lot.
And I feel sorry for the guy because he wants to be helpful. And he probably
honestly
does know the answer.
I was going to say, he knows.
He can give the answer.
He knows the answer. He just has this armor of, man, I'm just the guy who keeps things running smoothly in here.
I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I'm going to let something slip that I'm not supposed to,
yeah.
So I just won't say anything.
He has his habit down. So, no, my vote is Snipe Hunter and talking about the Great Disconnect, mainly the Great Disconnect, and how, even though Chronicles of Elyria has a huge fan base for an unmade game and a crowdfunded game, how in the mainstream it's just not known or understood, and why people don't understand how great this game is, or has the potential to be.
Has the potential to be. No, it's still one of my biggest hang-ups with not the game. My hang-up is not with the game. My hang-up is with the expectations people have of the game. My expectations are grounded in what I've read, what I've heard.
What we've discussed.
And what we discuss. We often make leaps of, well, they say that this is going to happen. Does that mean this? And that's our conversations.
And I'm sure we've gone down rabbit holes of assumptions where people are just shaking their heads. But sometimes, man, some of them Discord conversations where they're just like, well, I'll just poison the well and kill everybody in the city. And it's like,
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't understand people, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah.
That's why I live in virtual. That's why I live in virtual worlds, and I'm super excited about this meow.
Listening to them transition to actually saying meow every time. It's caught on there. It's really caught on amongst us.
No, without a doubt. They're defining the meow. I just think that it'll never overcome meow on Google. That's my only...
No, it's terrible. It is a terrible, terrible thing.
From a PR... Since we're discussing PR, from a PR standpoint, I still go on record as saying meow is terrible.
Right.
Even Mio would have been better. I don't know what the last one could have been. Mios simulation, but that's just not the right. Anyway, I'm sure they kicked it around way more than us.
It's really not the same.
All we do is judge. We found it.
We set in judgment of people doing things we could never do.
Yes, I will pass judgment upon it, and I will use it. Before we jump into the actual, because the live Q&A was the coolest thing that happened this week, and I think that's what we're going to discuss mostly on this podcast.
I believe that is true.
Do you want to talk about questions we had coming at us from some listeners?
Sure. What do you got?
I know Mike sent us some that he was... some of them we've touched on before.
Hang on. Let me refresh on Mike, because this has been a while. All right. Mike, I'm just going to have to come out and say it, because if we start talking about his questions, it's going to be obvious.
Okay.
Mike is looking for ways to cause problems.
No, he's a chaos sower. That's his interest in this game, is to go. And I think there's a lot of people like that. They want to go in and cause chaos.
He's not interested in causing chaos for just giggles. He wants to work towards a goal, and he wants to use chaos as his means of getting there.
Yes, he definitely, yeah. He wants to have his side of things that he is working for, and he wants to cause chaos on whatever side is opposite that.
Right. Well, because I think in our last episode we talked about the taxes and things, and that's what brought up this first thing.
No, yeah, and just so the listeners know, Mike is one of our oldest, most diehard listeners who's been there since episode 1 and gives us lots of personal feedback, sends us questions all the time, so...
Mike is in a constant state of conversation with us about things. And honestly, most of the things that he brings up and talks about, we couldn't talk about on the show. The world is not ready for Mike yet.
So his first question is, would it be possible to lure away tradesmen from other kingdoms by offering tax incentives and such, or economic boosts, or whatever you want to say, just to hurt another kingdom? And I think we've talked about that.
My simple answer to that was, of course.
It's a big giant yes. I think that's the crux of the whole economic system and being a good king versus a bad king. And
that's reality, is that some people are going to start off in their kingdoms and they're going to be, the grass is greener over there, and they're going to migrate. It's just going to happen. Now, doing it on purpose, specifically to hurt one kingdom, I mean, obviously there are going to be ways you can do that.
I'm wondering if it's not more their ineptitude making it possible as opposed to your incentives making it possible, because there's going to be some point where the point of diminishing returns on cuts and taxes,
right,
where you're going to hurt your own kingdom.
But I think he is honestly asking what happens when I say, hey, every smith that comes and joins my kingdom, I will give you 50 gold to start and half taxes for a year. I mean, that's what he said. That's his thought process, is if I do that, are all the smiths going to leave the other countries and come to mine?
Well, I mean, at least from the short, I mean, that's a short-term viable answer, or some way to get smiths to your country. But then you got to look at the long term of, now they're all creating goods, and there's a surplus of goods, and no one needs them, and there's a shortage elsewhere. So supply and demand will just, I mean, you're going to have trouble selling your breastplates if you got a stack of them over there.
But the answer to the question is definitely yes. Yeah, you can do things like that.
I think people will try ineffectively on the main. Most people will be ineffective at trying to do it, but some people will find success doing it. But the other part of the question is what interested me, because we really didn't touch on this, is if you are a kingdom that's affected by people robbing away your tradesmen, will it be supplemented with NPC tradesmen? Right. And I think, go ahead.
I think that my understanding is that can happen depending on the way the leaders allocate their resources, right?
Well, I think it comes down to more of, why did they leave your country in the first place? Is it because you're a terrible place to be a tradesman? Well, then NPC tradesmen aren't going to want to be there either. And
that's what I was wondering. That's what I didn't know if that's where you're going to
I don't think there's just a floor where it's like, okay, no matter what, these NPCs will come fill those spots.
Yeah. I don't think if NPC tradesmen find out that they can get 50 gold and half taxes somewhere else, they may just leave.
I think they will leave. I mean, they have their hierarchy of needs that they're trying to fulfill that drives them.
Right.
And it's not, there's no blacksmith here, irregardless of the taxes and everything else. I'm going to go set it up there. They have their own needs. They want to feed their families. They want to make money. So the NPCs are going to look for the best deals also.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as the information is being traded in game about, what kingdoms are doing what, then the NPCs are going to find out about it.
Yes, because the information is a real thing passing around. So
the only way the NPCs don't know about it is if you only, announce this on the internet and nobody talks about it in game, which I think is impossible.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it will spread no matter what. Even if you tried to keep a secret, it will spread. I mean, the only way to keep a secret is if two people know it and one of them's dead, right?
Yes. I've heard that somewhere before.
His next question. Can I have multiple characters? Short answer, absolutely. And he says, the OPC system lends itself well to having an alt who is working toward a goal while I am playing on my main.
And I agree 100%.
No, I think so too. I think that the flavor of it is that your OPC is never going to be as effective as you playing yourself.
Right.
But it is going to be able to get stuff done. And so having two characters. The biggest thing is that you really don't gain that much, because once a character's in the world, it's in the world, and he's working towards his death.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, I'm going to log off my alt now and work on him later, and save some of his lifespan. No, once he's in the world, he's in his world forever. You only have so much lifespan to play both of them, and nothing you do pauses that lifespan.
Right.
So
But he is still getting things done.
Yes, and I think more importantly, I think it's better if you have an OPC, set up to supplement your main, as opposed to having two separate goals. And to me,
well, and I don't know. I can't speak to his thinking behind the question. I mean, that was kind of my plan.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people's plans who have the means to afford multiple sparks of life.
We have ideas on what we want to happen. And having an OPC who is, either gathering or even just running a store or something.
Yes.
That is exactly the kind of thing we need.
If I can afford it, like let's say we have a farm, me and you have a farm or a shop farm, whatever.
Right.
And we need like 12 NPCs to keep this place running smoothly, whatever the number. I'm just picking one. I would love for the majority of it to be OPCs and have no NPCs.
Yes.
Now I'm not sure I can afford all those sparks of life and keeping them going, but
I can afford. I can definitely afford 2, and I plan on keeping those 2.
Two run. I'll probably be between 2 to 4, just depending on how much trouble it is to juggle them, and if it's just an NPC at some point, irregardless of the fact that I sparked them. You know what I mean?
So with our 4 people, that's 8 characters that we're planning on running.
Yeah, and I think,
sorry, that's 10. Sorry,
I think there's a lot of people like that. But that's really my question is, at some point, it just becomes an NPC if you're not logging into them and actually playing them.
Well, and that has a lot to do with what's going on. I love the idea of having that other character because you and our plans are somewhat specific, right?
Right.
And there's going to be times when me logging in on that character is not going to be beneficial. You're not around, so I have this other guy, and I can be working on whatever with him. I see it as a great system for that.
I agree completely, especially when you can't play with your bud or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying you and I are going to do things that put our characters in situations where they need to be together.
Yeah.
It's separating them is not beneficial.
Our adventures are all planned for us to be duoing through this world.
Yes. So having that OPC that
I'm
I can
Batman.
log into.
I'm Batman, and Sam is Robin. It's waiting.
It's such a long drive. It's such a long drive. Just go smack you in the back of the head.
Dibs on Batman.
I am Nightwing.
Oh, God. Here we go. Don't get me into my lack of DC knowledge.
my complete not understanding.
I don't know who these characters are.
Fine. I'm Captain America. He's Bucky.
Why'd you have to go there? Just this utter disappointment. Okay, sorry. We get digressing by getting into comic books. Could a motivated individual have many OPCs/alts doing many things, maybe a whole village of them, which is basically what we just talked about?
Yeah, and the answer, I believe, is yes.
I think the answer completely is yes. If you have enough money to buy enough sparks of life, you could populate a city, and every one of them is someone you control that's growing old and dying and doing what they need to do.
Now, souls are what each character has, right? Each character has one soul.
Yes.
And a spark of life is their lifespan before that soul has to move to another character.
Yeah, and you need another spark of life to reignite the soul in a new character.
But you only start with one soul in the game, right?
I think mostly it's 2 or 3.
Okay.
I got like my package. I have 3 souls, I think, to choose from. I could go look.
Okay. To choose from, but can you choose all 3 of them? Is what I'm saying.
I believe so. That's my understanding completely. That's the only way to have OPCs and alts. And I get more souls.
No, I understand that. I'm saying I don't know at what point do you have to buy another account.
I don't know if it's another account or if they're soul packs.
Well, I mean, is there going to be a limit to the number of souls you can have running simultaneously?
If there is, they haven't announced it that I know of.
Right.
And it may just be like, most like World of Warcraft. How many characters could you have per server?
Right, and that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Is it all goes back to the character slots that you normally have in an MMO. How does that translate into the Meow?
And that's the other part of SBS's economic model. It would behoove them to allow as many as possible, since sparks and souls are their source of income to fund this game once the game goes live. So I don't know. If it is, I think it'll be a high number, if there is one. But hell, maybe they'll say you can have 3 characters.
The way I see it, every OPC is just another NPC that doesn't have to be generated in the game.
Right, it's just a glorified NPC. It's just depending on the amount of time the player spends behind the keyboard making him a PC as opposed to an OPC.
Right.
Interesting, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of running two concurrent characters, and having them both work for a similar goal.
And then Mike's final question. What is stopping a player from having separate accounts used for espionage against other kingdoms?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing is stopping them from doing that.
I think
I would be disappointed if that doesn't happen.
If that doesn't happen quite often. Yeah, that's the beauty of this game is you can make up a character and get him into that kingdom and start worming him into the society.
How many people right now have multiple Discord accounts or multiple email addresses, and they have created
personas, online personas?
So you've got this one guy whose best friend bought a kingdom. He's going to be the king, and this guy is being made, duke or whatever. And then he's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. This is going to these people over here are number one competition. I'm going to go start another noble. I'm going to buy another account. I'm going to buy another noble package, and I'm going to be part of their kingdom too, so I can keep up with what's going on.
I will know everything. No, I think that's the beauty of the Dance of Dynasties. I would keep wanting to say the Game of Thrones. But the Dance of Dynasties, man, the cutthroat, the espionage, the loyalty. And the other part of it is you don't just get to make up a character and boom, he's, obviously you can start his account in there. But if you don't invest the time
right, and
play in that character and getting enmeshed and forming the relationships with the other nobility, and depending on how far up you are or whatnot, as opposed to just a scullery maid, collecting information. The amount of time you invest in that character and play it, you're actually going to have to betray relationships if you're going to be the spy that you're talking about being. And to me, that's just more drama and stuff you can't do in other games that's available in this game. Like, yeah, you may start off as saying, I'm just going to be, just like all the undercover cop movies where he meshes himself in the gang, the mafia, and he gets so sucked into it that he can't tell himself he loses his identity. And I think that will happen here. You will have to make a choice at one point which side you're actually going to be on. It will happen.
So yeah, those are the kinds of things that make this game exciting to talk about and think about, is that those possibilities, not only can they happen, they're already happening somewhere.
Yeah, before the map is even generated.
Right. There are people on Discord right now who belong to one kingdom or another who are secretly high-ranking members of an opposing kingdom. I guarantee it.
So I hope we address some of those questions. Anybody listening, if you have questions you would like to have us discuss, hit us up on the YouTube channel in a comment. Hit us up vendortrash27@gmail.com. We would love to discuss any topics you have like that. So thanks, Mike, for the questions. Now on to the meat of this episode.
Whew.
The live Q&A.
Yeah, the Q&A was fun. It was fun to listen to.
I love the format of it, where they came in and said, hey, here's everything we wanted to discuss, and they took a few questions at the end.
Right.
I love the way they just came out and explained stuff.
I think that really curbs the disconnect that we were talking about.
The great disconnect.
Yeah, because when a lot of the questions that they have to answer, sometimes, I say a few of the questions they have to answer sometimes are either A, blatantly obvious based on the system that this game is surrounded by.
To you and me.
Or, well, I would like to say that most people are that way.
Sure.
And then
Your
the other
glass is half full guy.
is the people who will not let go of their preconceived notions of what an online game like is supposed to be.
And they keep asking it in reference to their
right.
past experiences.
They take the game that they know and they apply that information to what they're reading about this, and then they ask their questions that end up making very little sense. And that eats up a lot of the portion of every Q&A.
And you just roll in your eyes going, God, I wish they didn't have to answer. There is no ranger trainer. Jesus Christ, you want to be a ranger, get a bow and go out in the woods.
So, yeah. Anyway, so no, I love the format. I love that they came in and said, all right, this is what people want to know about, so this is what we're going to talk about. And then, yeah, they got to the end and they answered a few questions.
No, it was a good format. I loved it. It was very, very informative. Raised a lot of questions for me. I know, I think the number one thing I read in the comments and things is I'm trying to phrase this properly. They're like, man, I love hearing them talk about the concepts behind everything, but the inability to see it in action.
That makes it tough.
It makes it tough, because it just raises questions of, can they actually do this? And I get it, but I feel for SBS because they're in the spot of, we could show you our current text-based database thing running that's spitting out strings of code, and it's like, yes, this is going to work beautifully. They show it to us, and we're like looking at it going, huh?
They're in an almost impossible position of trying to build this game while trying to keep our interest in
up.
It.
Yeah.
And so, no, they're in an impossible position. They can't.
It's just like the PAX demo where they had the mine run, silver mine run. And they had that little bit of combat they put in, and everybody just railed on how bad the combat was. I would say rail, but they were disappointed in the combat. And it's like, holy crap, they won't even show it. They threw that in as an afterthought just to say, here's a little bit of combat.
Right.
We haven't worked on combat yet, but here's a little bit of what we're working on. And so it's just like, damned if they do, damned if they don't.
You're looking at something that is months before alpha and complaining that it's,
it's not polished.
It's not polished enough for you.
No, that's frustrating.
I would never play this game. Well, good, because you're not going to be playing this game. It's a stupid tech demo, man. Come on.
So that being said, I do want to express my concerns over some of the stuff on the Destiny system when they talked about it.
Let's hear it.
Just the sheer scope. All I can think of is a database that keeps track of all this information. Like the thing they kept talking about was, in a normal game, you'd come along and you'd find an NPC standing next to a cave that was an avalanche, and you'd go in and rescue the person, you know what I'm saying? And then after it was over, the quest would reset, and the next person would come up and start the quest to rescue the person that got crushed in the avalanche.
In your standard game, that's the way that works.
Your standard MMO. And they said that how this is different is you may get a story seed generated to your character upon creation based off all these zodiacs and houses and stars aligning in the sky, but you may get one that's rescue someone from a natural disaster. And I cannot wrap my brain around how the game engine keeps track of that and then generates it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, as far as generating it, pretty good on that one. The part that I'm having trouble with is, how does it know you did it? You know what I mean? Using their same example of the cave, how does the game know that's what you're doing when you go into that cave?
I mean, it's got to be just flags, right? I mean, just flag up, flag down type deal. At some point, the engine has to generate the flag, and then because, like it said, they explained it that it presents you with a choice and forces you to make it. The whole story's Destiny system is designed to present you with a choice, not a quest, not like check boxes. Okay, your quest is complete, but just a choice. Will you save the person? Will you not save the person? And that's a choice. And then so it's just a yes no to me.
Now, if it's an NPC, I understand how it works.
Okay,
I guess it has to be an NPC, doesn't it? How do you as a player get stuck in a cave? The Destiny system flags you and says that if you kill something with a bow, it will forward your story a little bit, right?
Okay.
And so in the game, you get a bow, you get some arrows, you go out into the woods, you kill a deer. And that's, that makes perfect sense because you're interacting with something that the game controls.
I'm with you so far.
If the system generates a Destiny for you where you have to interact with a player, it's very, very difficult for me to understand how the system understands that you've done that specifically.
I fail to see like if you're saying it can see if you kill a deer, but it can't tell if you kill a player.
Well, and I'm killing a player is pretty clear.
Yeah, but they
were making it seem like there were things that were not so clear cut.
No, they talked about a business opportunity, and yeah. I'm like, how do you? But that's where I'm thinking that this is the database is like. So again, we're speculating. So join us. One guy's got a Destiny that is present a business opportunity. The other guy has a Destiny that is there will be a business opportunity presented to you. And as these two people play along, the game is constantly looking for, does anybody's basically yin and yang match up? And when they do, boom, the question is presented to both of them.
Okay. Now, see, that makes a lot more sense.
That's kind of how I took it, is that everybody's got a yin and there's a bunch of yangs out there. And that's just one part of it. That's right. That's just the not opposed, but the ones that work together. And then there's opposed ones. I think there'll be people that need to kill a deer, let's say, and there'll be people that need to save a deer. And whenever those two things line up together, And I think it'll be happening all the time, and most of the time you won't even know you're advancing your story until you look down and go, oh, I've got story points. I did something. So that's my take.
No, I think what they used as an example is what made it hard for me to comprehend. Because they kept talking about the guy in the cave, and I was like, well, if I was in a cave, I wouldn't need somebody's help. I would just get myself out of it.
Find my way out of it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and wait for some PC to come save me.
And it may be something
awkward.
It may be something where I don't know how to make this happen or anything, but you're out in the wilderness and you meet certain criteria for you to get trapped in a cave, which will then generate, I don't know how, it could just be completely BS, like not in the game at all, but then it generates a choice for a character to come up to the cave and rescue you. Now, no matter what, you can escape it on your own, but if they come and rescue you, then you get out. You know, it don't take you an hour to find your way out or whatever.
Right.
And therefore it meets his destiny, it advances his story points. Again, to me, I love the idea of this, but it's just like, is it going
to wrap your brain around?
Yeah, it's hard to wrap my brain around that it all works towards a common 10-year story. I don't know.
Now, if you had a certain type, I mean, let's say that there are 100 types of destinies. They're not specific. They're very ambiguous.
Okay.
Right?
I'm with you.
And while you're moving through the world, something happens close to you that the destiny system says, okay, now if this player goes over there and interacts with this in this way, we will progress his story.
Okay.
Because he's close to it and this is going on. Now, if he ignores it, no big deal, goes on with his life. Now, that makes sense. If it's, you know what I mean? When you make your character, it doesn't say you will go kill a deer.
Right.
Your thing says that, you know, your destiny has something to do with, you know, gathering resources or hunting or whatever. And then you get close to a deer in the game, and then the destiny system snaps in and says, okay, if he kills that deer, then we'll advance the story a little bit.
Well, and the other thing, too, is there's character destiny, which is your actual lifespan of character.
I think we're talking about character destiny.
Mostly, yes. But there's also the soul destiny. And right. there will be long themes attached to your soul.
But the soul destiny is very much a long game.
Yes.
I mean, you could live 5 or 6 lifetimes before you ever know, if you ever know, you know, that your soul destiny is being worked on. And maybe even these little. And here's how I'm going to get very abstract here, as opposed to saying avalanches and killing deer and things like that. Good.
So very abstract here, and say when you generate a character, and according to your stars and where the houses are in the constellations, and it generates your destiny. It's basically predestination, but that's beside the point. You have to have a system. I'm fine with it. It generates, let's say, I'm just make up a number, 12 destiny quests, for lack of a better term. I don't like the term quest to talk about this, but the destiny system generates 12 destiny quests for you. Or opportunities. That's probably a better way to say it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And each one of those is a cluster of flags that are all red. Okay? So all 12 of them, and again, we'll just pick a number, even though each one will be different, but every one of them has 5 flags. And so your first, I'm keeping it abstract. Your first quest is 5 flags that are red, and as you progress through life, you'll be in certain situations that'll turn some of those flags green. And if you ever get to a point where all those circumstances go green, then boom, your choice is presented to you. Now, what those flags are, or how they turn red to green, or you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I can't. But that's how abstract I'm trying to keep it in discussing it. And part of one of those flags may be, or even 2 of them on a certain quest may be, someone else has to be in the area along the same quest line and have some of theirs in a certain green. And if you guys are near each other, boom, boom, your 4th and 5th ones turn green, and then the story question is presented to you. And whatever. And
I think that is, I can't say exactly, but I think that is the plan. That seems to be the plan that they're talking about.
It's just, to me, just there must be something I don't understand about data management, and because I'm not a techie at all. I'm not a game maker.
The system that you just described makes perfect sense, and I'm certain that is the kind of thing that they're going for.
Right.
What sets off those flags, and how the Destiny system understands that you're setting off those flags is the part that I have the hardest time with.
Well, let's get away from the abstract and let's just take quest 1, 5 flags, and it is rescue someone from water.
Yeah, see.
No, I'm saying. So therefore the 5 flags are, you have to be near water. So if you're near water, that thing will turn green. There has to be someone in distress in the water. And that may be the other player character or an NPC. And so now, does it create someone and stick them in the water in distress, an NPC? That's a possibility. That's a possibility if you meet the other criteria, which is, I don't know what the 5 flags are, because to me, to rescue someone in the water, you got to be near the water, and there has to be someone distressed in the water. And maybe it has to be you've had to got your swimming skill up to a adept level.
And see, these are all that. This is the same problem I have with the cave.
No, but I'm saying is if you take it like that and they write this up and it's like there's your flags. Once you got your swimming to adept level, that flag goes green. Once you're near water, that flag goes green. If you walk away from the water or your swimming skill drops below through decay or whatever, or injury, I'm not even sure. Anyway, not the point. Then those flags will turn red again. So if you walk away from the river by whatever the criteria is, then it goes red. You never see these flags, of course. It's all in the background.
Right.
I don't know if I was clear on that.
No, it's clear on that part, but
so
I don't understand how you help someone in that way. I don't have an understanding of what game mechanics allow you to help someone in that.
I just, if, like, let's say the flags let's say there's 3 flags on this one. You got to be near the water, and you got to have an adept swimming skill, right?
So you've got 2 flags green.
2 flags green. So therefore, at this point, the story engine, and I would like to have more flags, but let's just leave it at those 2 to keep it simple. Okay?
Right.
Those 2 flags are met. Those 2 flags go green. Boom. The Destiny system and the Story Finder grabs an NPC, puts him in the water, and has it shout, "Help, help." I mean, that's right. And then you see the help. You at that point, you can investigate the help because you're near it, right? And they could even say something like, "I'm stuck," whatever, just something to grab interest.
They're drowning, whatever it is.
And there's your choice. It's presented to you. Are you going to investigate the help, or do you ignore it? If you investigate, at which point you can still walk away, or you can dive in and grab them and take them out of the water. I'm waiting.
I don't understand how you jump in the water and grab them.
That's just swimming.
No, I realize you as your character, you can swim out there. Is there a system in place that I hit a button and I grab somebody? I know that this is supposed to not be the point of the conversation. I just can't. This is why I have a hard time wrapping my head around the Destiny system, is things like this don't seem to have in-game mechanics to move them along.
Like a normal quest would, where you go up to the gnome and click on them and they say, "Oh, thank you, I need to go into the cave."
Right. In a regular MMO, if you had to save someone from drowning, you would swim out into the water, you would click on them, and there would be a little
dialogue box,
a time bar for while you're grabbing them or whatever, and then you would swim back to shore.
You would have a rescued person in your inventory.
You'd have a rescued person in your inventory. All those things that are irritating. I don't think that, again, with the cave, the saving somebody in the water, I don't think these are the kinds of things that make sense in the Destiny system.
Well, to me, it's hard to procedurally generate these kind of things and have them not feel hokey.
I agree.
And that's my biggest fear, is that it just feels hokey because it's not custom crafted, repeatable quests that makes sense. Even though those feel hokey for their own reasons, they're repeatable. It's a theme park.
Now, if somebody's drowning and you can go out into the water and click on them, then maybe there's some kind of interaction you can have.
And that's what I'm saying, is when the story generates the thing, the story generates the choice. Maybe it generates it where you can go out there and grab them that says, help them, hurt them. I don't know.
These scenarios, I don't think are indicative of the way the Destiny system is going to work.
No, I don't. I think we don't have it. As much as I enjoyed the Q&A on the Destiny system and loved getting the information on it, I was left with more questions when it was over. I'm very fired up about it, but left with more.
No, they're trying to convey an idea, an amorphous idea, in terms that we can understand based on games we've played and things that we can see in our mind. But I don't think they are a good representation of what it's going to be like in the game.
And that's where the great disconnect.
That is one of the great disconnects.
And it's just rough, man. Because dude, I'm a fanboy of this game.
Right.
But like I said, I'm left with more questions than answers.
I'm firmly in the camp of, I just don't understand what they're saying, and I will later.
Faith.
It's a little bit of faith, and it's a little bit of, I don't understand programming to the extent that what they're doing. Yeah.
No, I'm with you, because it seems to me like just in a single player game, this would be so hard to keep track of.
It does feel that way.
Imagine Skyrim with the Destiny system, but you only have one player character, you know, and it's just, yeah. Now imagine thousands. And to me, it's just...
No, I think the Destiny system is probably going to be much simpler than we're giving it credit for. And it's probably going to be much more interesting than we can currently conceive.
Because we're thinking of these standalone scenarios.
Right.
As opposed to character choices.
They're thinking of things that take place for, you know, a character's destiny is something that takes place over that character's lifetime. And the soul destiny is something that takes place over multiple lifetimes.
And the Destiny system, the Soulborn engine, is something that Caspian's brainchild since like 2002 or something, right? He's been working and coding on it, you know, so who knows? Yeah. The one cool thing I took out of the beginning of the Q&A was where they talked about the Destiny system is just one half of the Soulborn engine because the other half is the story finding. And so you got your Destiny system on the front end, which is the predestination of stories for your character.
Right.
And then the other half of the engine is actually the part that finds those stories for your character. And that's something they really didn't talk about at all. They were just talking about the Destiny system, and that may explain a lot more stuff.
So what I took away from that is that your destiny, like I said earlier, it's kind of it's an ambiguous thing. Like there are 100 possible destinies, for example. Your character is born with one of them. And then the Soulborn engine spends, while you're playing the game, looking for those story hooks around you to apply to your destiny.
Yes.
You know, something's going on over there that's really, really important to the game, but it doesn't match up with your destiny.
So it doesn't try to prod you in that direction.
So it doesn't prod you in that direction, right?
No, I'm with that. I'm with that as far as the story finding goes, and that's our P-brains trying to wrap our head around it.
Right. And that comes to, you know, like they said about the dropping seeds.
Yes.
I mean, they have a lot of different ways to do that, I think.
I hope so. I mean, I hope so.
I mean, you could be, if you're in town a lot and you're interacting with, you know, lots of people on a daily basis, the Destiny system could drop a seed on an NPC, just as an example.
Nice example. Yeah, I like it.
You know what I mean? And that NPC could, you know, drop a hint. That NPC could come into your store or come out to your farm or whatever, and through the daily course be like, you know, I heard this, or I saw this.
Not only that, but just imagine this. It doesn't just have to, like, we always think of NPC player characters.
No, and I'm just something to wrap my pea-brain around.
No, I get it. But you make me think of this, is not only that, but it can drop the seed. It can drop, like, you're the farmer out in the field. It can drop a note in the field that you can discover.
Stone tablet.
Whatever, but it's for another character's destiny. You know what I'm saying? So it dropped a seed that's your destiny, but also his destiny. Now, what you do with it at that point, and then if you do nothing with it, then you made your choice. But it may drop another seed for that guy, you know, in another field for someone else to take to him because you refused your destiny,
right?
Or ignored it, or didn't even realize it was important, and like, oh, look at this neat stone, I'll throw it in the pile.
It's vendor trash.
Yeah, it's vendor trash. No, then to me that's really cool is when you start making characters interact through the destiny system.
We talked a lot before about being out and exploring and finding that old ruin.
Right.
That's the kind of place I think that the Destiny system could drop seeds.
At the ruin, or even...
Yeah.
See, to me, it's like, I think it could drop clues to find the ruin. If someone's destiny is exploration.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying it's not a possibility. I'm just saying that imagine your character has this bubble that goes out like a mile all the way around the character.
Okay.
That is your character's destiny, your soul's destiny.
Area?
Basically looking at what's going on.
Your destiny radius?
And if things line up inside that radius, then a seed could be dropped. And like you said, it could drop it on somebody else's land, somebody else picks it up. Do they know that it's for you? Do they know who to take it to? Do they not know? You know what I mean?
Sure.
All of those things can come up, but purely speculation.
No, because that would be so cool. It really would be so cool.
Within that range of yourself, the Destiny system doesn't have to watch the whole world for your character. You know what I mean? It just has to watch the area you're in and be like, hey, that over there lines up with this guy's destiny.
No, that makes sense.
So let's drop a seed.
That's kind of what I was saying about the flags are always looking, but in that radius is what I would say.
Yes, within that radius.
Yeah.
No, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
We're on the same lines as far as it's not. You described it better with the radius thing. And
I just think client side type deal where the server is not constantly banging its head against millions of people.
And don't you think? I mean, here's my question: won't people just dig into these files and start looking for their Destiny flags?
It's possible, but we don't know what those flags are going to look like.
Sure.
Those flags could be 3 random characters on an ASCII chart. You know?
If it can be parsed out, it will be parsed out.
No, I agree with you. If it can be parsed out, people will figure it out. But
all right, here's your data. Here's your printout of what you need to do to complete your Destiny.
People will be starting up characters, and they'll be able to hit a button, and it will print out their freaking Destiny.
Just go to coedestiny.com and put in your code.
Put in your code.
Put in your 6-digit code, and you'll figure out what your Destiny is. I hope not, man. I hope not.
Please don't. Not too.
A couple things I really dug about this that came out, aside from my questions that were left, but the way the houses line up in the constellations, or the constellations in the houses, however it works as far as the astronomy of it for creating your Destiny when your character is born, right?
Right. Because
the planets move at different speeds and all that kind of things, the generational themes they were talking about, like everybody born in this time in Elyria timeline, in this 10-year span, 8-year span, whatever you want to say, they're all kind of going to share a generational theme. So you almost got your Gen Xers and your baby boomers and your millennials, kind of just those themes running through the story arcs, if they choose to. But to me, it's just another layer of depth that you don't.
Art imitating life.
Yes.
In that one right there.
And the fact that they're doing that is just really cool. Because, I mean, millennials in the workforce right now, and in the real world, I'm saying, is a challenge. And just to have,
having generational themes is going to be very interesting, especially if they are pronounced.
And that's the thing. It can be nuanced and not have to be just in your face and still affect the game. You know, because if a whole generation's theme is commerce, just because of the houses they were born in, the time frame type deal, then you're going to have a generation that's really booming, and then all of a sudden it's going to drop off, and people are going to be like, why not? Why aren't people doing the stuff that we did? You know, it's the same way. Why does their music suck so bad?
What is this noise?
Don't they understand if they would just? And they don't even. I mean, like, why aren't they doing these commerce missions? Because they didn't get the stories presented to them. Damn it!
Right.
You know, it's not as important to them. And it's just, to me, that's a really flavor. I mean, that's all it is flavor that's going to add to this world, if it works. And then the one planet, I didn't catch the name of it when I made my notes, but there's the one, and they may not have said it, but the one planet that takes 520 Illyrian years to do a rotation.
Right.
Which 52 weeks in a year, that's 10 years IRL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
no, they did not hide that at all. They were quite obvious with that planet being the ticking clock of this game.
Of this 10-year in real life span of the game, story game. So year 1, that planet is going to be in a certain place in everybody's house. And so only whatever stories that one planet can unlock will not be unlocked until year 2, year 3, year 4. And to me, that's a really... The cool part is going to be watching this thing move through the sky. Yeah.
To me.
Oh man, I'm making a new character.
I love astronomy, so I'm already excited about the fact that the stars are going to be a real thing. Like, just like, astrology has always claimed that they are. This game is making that real for the game.
Real. I'm going to be putting out horoscopes.
And people can put out horoscopes, I bet.
They're going to be parsing it? Okay, anyway. No. To me, okay, so you know me. I know you. We played games together most of our lives. I'm going to chase my destiny. I don't know if it's even possible in this game. They say it's not something you do. It's something that's presented to you. But right. I want to chase my character story down and choke every bit of life out of it. That's how I play games.
Now, we've talked about this quite a bit, that we're going to play our game, and if it becomes obvious that one of us has a destiny, or that we see it, we are going to track it down and chase it.
That's what I'm saying. If it's even a whiff.
Yeah.
Just hey, you think this might be? Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah. No, let's go figure that out right now.
Right now. Drop everything.
I found this piece of paper out in the field. What does it say? This is what it says. Let's go do this. Let's go figure this out now.
And you know what it's going to be. It's going to be Mike writing notes and just dropping them randomly in people's fields. Sitting back and watching the chaos ensuing.
I believe that 100%.
And because I'm going to drop everything and chase down this node. I'm going to be like, it said to take 10 paces from the black oak near the river. Okay. Don't understand. We've dug a quarry here trying to find whatever was supposed to be buried.
Yep.
No, we touched on soul destinies.
Your choices will color your soul.
Yeah. And we've seen the affinity, the soul affinity before, the light and dark.
Right.
So we know that exists in the game.
You know, I almost always play a positive, good-based character whenever I play a game.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever been more tempted to play
an evil
character than I am in this game.
A true chaotic evil.
Yes.
Almost every first run through a game, I do the noble thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's choices, I'm always Mr. Nobility, Paladin, Virtue.
Yep.
And then if the game's really fun and I want to see if it has replayable value, I will go through and do every dark choice I can do.
I try that with every game. And it doesn't take more than a couple of hours before the bad choices are always more than I can stomach.
Yeah. To me, I'm not sure if it's cart and horse, because I always play the good one first, and I know the story already. You know what I'm saying? Then replaying it, I already know the story, so I'm just not as interested, and now I'm being evil also, and so I'm less interested. And I don't know if I would actually say, okay, I'm going to be a complete asshole. Like, we just played Detroit Becoming Human, the whole Android game, and it's just a story-based game. But the whole way you can make choices to either fight or be peaceful. And we went through the whole game playing peaceful, until right at the end we're like, no, fight, fuck it. So then we actually backed up and went back to that choice and played through again to see what happens if we stuck with it. Anyway, good game, good story game.
I have tried this with me. I think the closest I've ever come is Skyrim, where I played through the first time and I was on the side of the Nords, and I played through the second time and I was on the side of the Empire. Then I went through and played a third time just to be
completely selfish evil.
It's completely selfish evil, and I still ended up being a freaking hero to everybody.
Yeah, you can't help it, man.
I can't help myself.
I can't help it. It's in your DNA. No, I get like you got to kill the younglings at some point, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it. Sorry.
No, and that's exactly where I always get to that one point where I cannot align with the people who are on the dark side. I cannot sympathize with them.
I was bored, and I saw an ad for a Walking Dead phone game. So I had to qualify it with saying I was bored. So I downloaded the game, started playing it, standard resource gathering, go on missions, fight. But it presents you with these stupid moral dilemmas of, we found these people, they're wounded, do we want to give them medicine? It'll hurt us because we don't have much medicine, but it'll help them. Right. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to give them medicine. That's what I would do. Oh, well, you ran out of medicine, so 2 of your people died. I'm like, damn it. Okay. No matter what, I'm doing the most, I'm doing it like if I was in a real zombie apocalypse. Fuck everybody. We're going to survive. You know what I'm saying?
I am Rick Grimes season 2. Yes. Go.
And so it comes to another thing, and it's like, hey, do we let them join our group? And there's no reason really not to. It's just, and I'm like, yeah, let them join the group. They end up shooting somebody, and killing them. I'm like, God dang it. Okay, I said done. No matter what.
No matter what.
No matter, I like 3 times I ended up telling myself no matter what. And then I finally started, then I got bored with the game. But anyway, that was just a side point.
I like how it feels like Oregon Trail. Walking Dead style.
Died of dysentery. When you really melt it down, that's all games have been since then.
That's what I pictured. I picture an Oregon Trail. I picture the old 8-bit graphics and everything.
Funny part is I never played that game.
I played it in 8th grade.
I think most people played it in school, but
yeah, we played it as I know it's not called history, social studies class in 8th grade.
I think
they gave us a choice. They were like, "Do you want to play a computer game or do you want to do this book thing?" And we're like, "Let's play a computer game," and then we all fucking died.
You all died of dysentery.
We all died.
The first game I think I remember playing was Zork. I don't know if it was Beyond Zork or just Zork. I really don't know.
The first game you ever remember playing?
Yeah.
The first
The first game I
ever.
remember on a computer, and I think it was
Okay.
it was a Tandy. I'm not 100% sure on that. I
Right.
was really young, and but that was because I had the Atari before then, and
No, I had a couple of consoles. I had a ColecoVision and Atari, but
did you ever hear of Vectrex?
that does not sound familiar.
I'm gonna have to send you. It was a vector based, or what are the light lines called?
I think you're right.
I think so. Okay. Anyway, it was all light lines, but it came with its own monitor. It was like a 8x4 monitor. It's tiny. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it had cellophane overlays that changed the game. That the light.
Would only let certain light through, so you can.
Yeah,
only
well,
see
it just
certain
it put like a racetrack over it or whatever, and you had to move the light ball through the racetrack. It was
Now,
just
see,
terrible.
That sounds familiar.
I might have showed it to you sometimes. I had that thing for a long ass time.
Okay, that might be true. We may have looked that up. At
My
one
dad
point.
got that for me, but anyway, Vectrex. So anybody out there ever had a Vectrex? Let's talk old games. I'm trying to remember. They had a football game on there. Oh, it was so bad.
I think the first computer game that I ever played was Dracula's Castle on the VIC-20. Text-based adventure game. The whole,
Just right along the line of Zork. Go north.
yeah, you can see northeast. You have the door to the north, the door to the south, and walls east and
There's a
west.
candle on the table in front of you.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that was the first computer game I ever played.
Now,
Much
Zork,
like Zork.
I still remember that my buddy's friend said, "Hey, you like games?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here, check this out." And it was his dad, and he showed us it, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." I think I stayed up till like midnight that night playing it.
To me, it was just electronic choose your own adventure.
That's exactly
I mean, I destroyed those books. The old Warrior and Wizard book, the Warrior Wizard Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yes.
I mean, I wrecked those things going through.
My problem was, and the whole deal was, you got to make a choice. So you put your finger there, and you go make the choice, and then you go back to the choice.
You make sure it's a good choice for me.
Not even checking to make sure it's a good choice. I mean, if I died, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But
you remember the death page, and it's like turn to page 27. Nope, that's the death page.
Not going there. Not going to get eaten by the sharks this time. We are off Chronicles of Elyria here. Serpentus would tell us to get back on topic.
Stay on topic.
Stay on topic. Back to the Destiny system. Quests. This is something they did talk about at the beginning of the whole Q&A, and the fact that quests don't exist in the sense of most MMOs. And I think this is another part of the great disconnect, and people don't understand where you're going to get your quests from. And the Destiny system is not a quest system. It presents choices that color your soul and things like that and advance the story. But quests, as we know them in traditional MMORPGs, those are going to come from the player base.
Right.
The economy needing stuff is going to generate quests, and people needing services is going to generate quests. And that's, to me, is really exciting, is that it's not and when I say quest, again, is the wrong word, jobs, things to do.
Yeah.
Those are going to be created by players with rewards from players for players completing them, because players need them done who have resources that need stuff done. And to me, that I'm going to spend more time messing with that, I think, than the Destiny system. And then I'll drop everything.
Supply and demand is going to color this game, I think, from beginning to end.
Again, back to the whole libertarian. Caspian's a giant libertarian. Right. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. COE is a libertarian experiment.
He'll revoke your pre-order.
I have no idea.
Don't make me political.
I have no idea of Caspian's political affiliations or beliefs. But to me, this whole game is like a giant libertarian experiment with the contracts, the economy, supply and demand.
Maybe now, the baseline idea is feudalism, right? That's where we start.
I believe. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the counts, dukes, kings.
I say that feudalism is where we begin.
Well,
governments will evolve or can evolve if they so choose as time goes on.
I think people will try and advance it way faster than the technology allows. I really do think people are going to try and set up democracies and.
I can't wait to see the in-game voting system.
That's the whole point. People are going to try and do it. They're going to. And there's going to be socialism. There's going to be.
It's going to be like Gangs of New York. Shave that man's face. What? You've only voted 5 times? You're not a real American. Shave his face and send him through again.
No, and that's going to be exciting to see people try and set up different forms of government. Back on the feudalism thing, I don't know if it's. Obviously, are nobles better people? Because used to be nobles were a better breed of man. They were ordained by God because they were just better. and then there was commoners. You know what I'm saying? Does
Yeah.
that exist in COE? Is that part of the canon or the flavor of the game?
I don't know.
Will people
I
reject
don't have that
that?
information. I don't have that information. Obviously, we are colored by history.
Sure.
We know that feudalism has a glaring flaw in that if you don't take care of your people, you will eventually go down.
Right.
How many times has France had to do this before?
I think that's
figured it
I
out?
think that's even not even feudalism's flaw. I think that's every governmental system's flaw. You either take care of your people or you go down.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I mean, feudalism was one of the worst.
But it was predicated on the fact of you deferred to your betters. Your nobles were your betters, and if you were just a serf, it's because that was your lot in life, and you weren't a better. And I just don't know if people will. Everybody's a Knight's Tale in this. We will rock you.
Well, no, I there's going to be all the tropes of feudalism, I think, that we enjoy so much. The reason why we play these types of games. I think this is going to be the best example.
Not simulation. It's what's the word Snipe Hunter uses? Where it's not a simulation. It's a.
No, you got me on that one. I don't know.
He keeps using a word that it's like we're not making a blacksmithing simulation. We're making it to where it captures the flavor of it. You feel like you're blacksmithing.
Right.
And I think that's they're capturing the essence of feudalism.
There you go. There you go.
And saying, here you go, play in this world.
You don't have people worried about actually starving to death. So there's a little bit of leeway on that end.
Yet.
But at the same time, there are people who understand the benefits of raising people from the serf class to do things more than probably would have happened in real life.
Sure.
I said we benefit from history. We understand that, yeah, that guy over there is really, really good at doing something. We need to put him in a position to do it for us more permanently. You know what I mean?
No, actually recognizing effectiveness versus...
Exactly, recognizing effectiveness. There's a guy over there who has no titles, no land, no nothing. He is the best in the world at doing this. Give that man a title.
Look what he's done with what he has. Holy crap, imagine.
Those kinds of things, I think, will be much more prevalent than real feudalism was.
No, it makes sense because, well, I will see. Because I mean, again,
but I think it's going to be fun. My point is that regardless of the differences, regardless of what we know about the history of it, it's going to be fun to simulate living in this society and see where it goes.
No, it's a giant social. I mean, that ultimately, when you melt everything down, this is a giant social experiment that we get to watch unfold and be a part of. And to me, that's ultimately what makes it so exciting. Ultimately, It's why I say, oh, I want to be a map maker. Oh, I want to be an explorer. Oh, I want to be a bard. Oh, I want to be a... It's why you revert
to 9-year-old Kalus. And every day you've got something else you want to be.
And it's like, man, I want to be a part of a kingdom that's flourishing and everybody's doing their part and it's growing and technology is being discovered and we're advancing. And then the other side of me is like, I want to be a part of a dystopian nightmare of a tyrant despot king.
Join the revolution.
Join the rebellion and overthrow it. I mean, it's just... So
the amount... That's my biggest problem. I say problem. That's the biggest downside of this is that you're not going to be able to experience everything.
And that's a good problem to have in a game.
It is.
Man.
It really is. When everything around you going on and be like, man, I wish I was over there and that was happening, but then I'd be missing out on this. That's probably that's our hope. That's what we want the game to be.
I really hope so.
Dude, the Destiny system is so hard.
Man, again, I think it's just because it raises more questions. Obviously, they gave us a bunch of answers about it, but the answers just raise more questions. And of course, we're never going to have enough until we understand exactly how it works, and hopefully we never do.
I'm never going to be smart enough to know exactly what's going on, and I agree with you. I don't want them to give away more information that's going to break the spell of the magical goings on of the Destiny system behind the screens. I would love for that to just remain a mystery, remain amorphous,
and it doesn't even have to make sense. I mean, and this is ultimately a big point for me. Is my favorite game I've ever. Well, I say favorite, but I mean I have a lot of favorite games. But the game I spent more time in my life on, I think, was right at 4 years of actual played days, was EverQuest. And I played a lot of others and things like that. But if you really melt it down, that game was mechanically terrible. And the quest system was nowhere. I mean, it was a theme park and a broken theme park at that. It was called EverQuest and had like 30 quests in it. But
I think you're being generous.
But my point is, my ability to suspend belief is to enjoy a game is amazing, and I feel like most people are that way. The system doesn't have to be perfect; it just has to seem like it, or even it. Again, that's the wrong term because it doesn't have to seem like it. Shit that happened in EQ made no sense whatsoever, but it let me play in that world.
If you give us a shiny enough playground, we will make our own fun.
Yeah, we'll make our own fun, and so that's what I'm trying to. I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but whether the Destiny system works flawlessly or not, if it gives me choices to make and lets me enjoy some more drama in this world, then to me it's just I'll suspend belief on if it randomly plops someone in a river for me to save them. I have no issue with that.
If I never come across my Destiny, I don't know if I would be disappointed or not. I feel like I would not.
I'm with you on that. Now, if I get it, if I feel like I'm chasing my Destiny, I'm going to chase the shit out of it. You give me a finish line, you know I'm going to try and strive. Absolutely.
I hope the day that I create my character, that I log into the game, that a thunderstorm comes in and portents my evilness for all time.
And it splits the tree in the house outside. I'm going with the natural here. I don't know if you have to create a club.
Necromancer is born.
You have to create a club from that tree that was struck by lightning.
No, dude, the Destiny system has so much potential. There's so many things that they can do with it to make the game fun for everyone.
Yes.
If you get a Destiny and it's clear cut and it's obvious what we have to go do, I'm jumping on your coattails and we're going to go do it.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, if I feel like I'm chasing something, I have a goal, even if it's your goal. And that's because we're tight. And I get that, and it's not for everybody, but if it's within our little group and I feel like, oh, wait, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. No, I'm on board.
And that's my point on the Destiny is even if it's completely flawed on its implementation, I think a completely flawed Destiny system is better than the completely flawed systems I've been 100% happy with in the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put my level of expectation.
No, it does. The possibilities here are more than we've ever had before. And that's what we have. We have possibilities. And Snipe Hunter and Caspian keep promising us all these possibilities. And we're just hanging on.
And expressing our doubts. But that's my ultimate thing.
Discussing them ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. Good stuff, man.
Oh,
we're creeping closer and closer to alpha. We're creeping closer and closer to map generation. There's going to be more stuff to talk about.
Map selection is going to be so exciting just because something's happening. Does that make sense?
No, dude. No, it's actually something tangible happening.
Let something happen. Let the lines be drawn in the earth. Let us see the kingdoms outlined on these maps. I want that. I want that so bad.
And how much is the freaking, I want to say Game of Thrones again, the Dance of Dynasties going to take off when...
No, exactly. When you finally find out where you're bordered with these people and these people, let the intrigue begin.
That's where it's really going to take off, and we're going to have more to talk about. We do have the one guy, I forget his name already, that wants to come on the show and talk about the nobility.
Yeah.
We need to discuss that and get him in.
We need to figure out where we're going to put in a nobility talk. I mean, I realize that is a big part of this game for a lot of people. You just have to understand that it's not a big part for us because we can't afford it.
No, that's big part of it. Like I've always said, I want to exist in this world where real players are the counts and kings above me. I just don't want to be one of them.
Right.
I want to be the hero running around. I want to be the hound. Well, the hound was kind of involved with the nobility, but the hound after he took off Daria. Yeah, I want to be Braun. Again, still he got involved with the nobility.
It sucks everybody in eventually, and I'm fine with that, dude.
I'm fine with being sucked in. It's just I want to be a nobody who exists in that world.
Right. That's it. That is it precisely.
All right. So housekeeping. Please give us if you have any questions, thoughts you want me and Sam to discuss, me and Patch to tear apart, post them to us in the comments or email us.
We will talk about anything.
Yeah, that's our...
If you don't want to post them on YouTube, you can send me. I'm Patch Vendor Trash on the Discord. I'm in the Discord all the time on the Chronicles of Elyria. You can send them to me straight. Send them to Kalus. Same thing. Kalus Vendor Trash. Send us the questions. We'll write them down. We'll talk about them.
Even if you just want to tell us how awesome Kalus is and how pathetic Patch is, that's also
no one
positive.
ever gets tired of talking about how awesome Kalus is.
No one does. Patch, it was a great episode, brother.
We are Vendor Trash. Vendor
Thanks
Trash
sorry.
at Vendor Trash 27 Facebook, at Vendor Trash 27 on Twitter, and we are Vendor Trash on YouTube.
So find us, hit the smash the like button. What else do you supposed to say? Smash the like button, go ahead and subscribe. So,
all right. It's been a great episode, sir.
As always, thanks for listening, everybody.
Appreciate it, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.
You said peace.
God damn it. I can't stop myself. I don't know why. I don't know why I say that.
Every time.
I don't know why I say that.
See ya. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Later.
See ya.
I'm out. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not saying it. I refuse. I refuse.
All right, man.
It hurts my soul that I said that.